Hello and welcome. So today, guys, it is all about mothers, right? Because at least here in the US, we are approaching Mother's Day. And I do know that Mother's Day happens in different areas of the world on different dates, but I am hoping that, you are in one of those regions where Mother's Day is coming up. So I want to share with you today my top picks from all of the fragrances that at least I have picked up from the new releases of 2025. I'm going to be sharing with you, I think it's like 16 fragrances that I think are perfect if you are looking for a gift for your mom or for a friend that's a mom or for your aunt, your auntie, your cousin, anybody that you would like to give a Mother's Day gift to. And being that fragrances are very personal, right? We have to be kind of careful with what we gift as far as fragrances. So I have selected a group of fragrances that are not only beautiful, right? But that they are also versatile. These are fragrances that they can wear for just about any occasion. Some of them are specific to spring and summer. Others you can wear all throughout the year. But what they all have in common is that they perform very well, they will give you a pleasant experience, and they are perfect for the current spring season and upcoming summer season. Now, the purpose of this video is just to share with you these fragrances, right? And I have organized them by what I would like to call type of mom. And once I start sharing, you'll see what I mean. It'll be really fun. But I did put quite a bit of work into selecting these fragrances. This is a very curated group of fragrances that I think will really make for an exquisite gift for your mom or for anybody in your life that is either a mom or in the mom role. I'm also only sharing fragrances that at least up until, filming this video are available, because there's a couple of fragrances that I will do an honorable mention for that they are 2025 releases, but I just can't find them anywhere. And some of them come in stock and then they go out of stock, and I don't want you to be frustrated. So the main fragrances that I'm going to share with you are all currently available. I think that mothers deserve the very best, so I have selected top-notch fragrances for you today. Anyway, but let's go ahead and jump right in because we have quite a bit to cover. But before we do so, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi, and I'm your fragrance concierge because I am totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and on this channel, we love to talk about all types of fragrances. So if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. The other thing that I wanted to tell you before we get started is that the 16 fragrances that I'm going to share with you today are all brand new 2025 releases. Therefore, I have reviewed most of them here on the channel. So all of them, with the exception of 3, have already been reviewed. And if you are interested in additional details, as I always tell you, just enter the name of the fragrance in the search bar of the channel page, and the video where I reviewed the fragrance will definitely come up. Now, the 3 fragrances that I have not reviewed here on the channel, when I speak about them today, I will be giving you quite a bit of detail so you know what to expect. I will not be sharing the fragrances in any particular order, and remember that I will be sharing them though by category, which is the type of mom. All right, so the first fragrance that I want to share with you today is a brand new release. I mean, this one was released maybe 2 weeks ago, and I picked it up immediately. And of course, I've had the opportunity to use it. I have not reviewed this one on the channel, so I will be giving you quite a bit of detail so that you know what to expect in this specific fragrance. And I am speaking about Jusbox, and this one is Sisters Before Misters. Now, Sisters Before Misters is a fragrance that is supposed to be inspired by the Spice Girls, and it has 5 key notes, and each note is supposed to represent the personality of each Spice Girl. So I found that to be very, very interesting. I have a short here on the channel, and I think I also posted it on Instagram, where I share with you the unboxing of this fragrance because it is very, very nice, very fun, very interesting. Now, this fragrance is a gourmand. It truly is a gourmand, but it is one of those gourmands that's not going to necessarily make you smell like food. But there is something that it definitely, at least to me, it smells like at the dry down, and we'll get to that in a minute. But this is a gourmand fragrance that it opens very like fresh and fruity and sweet. Not crazy sweet, but it is definitely a sweet fragrance. The one note that I pick up in the opening is the note of strawberry. And the strawberry is not a synthetic strawberry to my nose. It's not, I mean, if I'm honest with you, it's not like a very realistic, fruity, juicy, strawberry. It is just a strawberry note that has been nicely done, but it's not photorealistic, at least not to my nose. As the journey continues, you are going to notice that the fragrance does become a bit like fresh, spicy. The fruitiness and the freshness that the fragrance opened with is still present, right? This is not a freshie, by the way, guys. It just has an airy and freshy kind of quality to it. But this is not a freshy fragrance. This is truly a gourmand that is not a freshie. So as the journey continues, as I was saying, the fragrance does become fresh, spicy, and it's courtesy of the note of ginger. And the ginger to my nose is very, very clear. At that same time, the florals start to step in, and they are quite present. They're not dominant in any way, but they are very much present. But the blend is so exquisitely done in this fragrance that I can't really distinguish like one floral from the other, right? And then along with the florals, for the first time, I really pick up on the banana. It's not dominant. It is kind of faint in the background because the dominant fruit, at least to my nose, is the strawberry. At the dry down, I get like a mix of a banana and strawberry kind of scent that is a bit lactonic, and it still has a certain degree of citrusiness to it. The fragrance also becomes a tad green, just a little bit, which I'm actually glad because at least to my nose, it balances that sweetness and other things that are going on with it. This is a fragrance that, to me, at the dry down, guys, what this smells like is like bubblegum, like a banana and strawberry bubblegum. You know how when you first put one of those big chunky bubble gums in your mouth, they're like very sweet and very juicy to the point that you get the scent of the bubble gum? Well, that's what I get in the opening of the fragrance. Then you continue to chew that bubble gum, and a good while later, the bubble gum, you still have it in your mouth. You're chewing it, but you're not getting that juiciness, that sweetness, and you're also not getting that very strong scent. Well, that's what I get at the dry down of this fragrance. Is it a beautiful scent? I wouldn't call it beautiful. I mean, it is, enjoyable, but I wouldn't call it necessarily beautiful. I think that this is a very fun kind of fragrance. And I am telling you that at the dry down, what I really do get is that bubble gum. I think that this fragrance is perfect for the spring and summer seasons. It is a fun fragrance without being juvenile. So please don't think that what I'm trying to say is that, this is for a very, very young, juvenile kind of crowd. No, this is appropriate for all ages. And I think that this is very much a unisex fragrance that does lean to the feminine side. At that, it is performing very well because it is giving me a full day wear with a moderate projection and moderate sillage, no more than that. It is a fragrance that when I've worn it has gotten me just one compliment, and it was kind of like, you smell like a sweet candy kind of compliment, right? But this is definitely a fragrance that you're going to enjoy using during these seasons where you have activities and fun things to do. Is this a fragrance that I would wear to a formal event? No. Is this a fragrance that I would wear on a date night? No, unless the date night is that I'm going roller skating or that I'm going bowling or that I'm doing something like really, really fun and very, very casual. I'm not saying that this is a fragrance that you can only wear during casual occasions. Please wear whatever you want when you want. I mean, that's where we are. It's 2025. Come on, right? But at the end of the day, those are my preferences. This is a fragrance that I would wear for casual occasions where it's also going to be fun, or where I just really want to enjoy this gourmand, because this is a very, very enjoyable gourmand fragrance. There's actually something a bit addictive about it. All right, so now that we've had the opportunity to talk about sisters before misters, let's talk about why I selected and what fragrances I selected for this mother type. The mother type that I want to share with you right now is the gourmand lover. The gourmand lover is a mom that loves fragrances that can smell like food and at times will not smell like food, but this is a mom that really enjoys that type of fragrance. And for her, my first pick actually is Jusbox Sisters Before Misters for sure. I think that this is an exquisitely done and beautiful gourmand fragrance that a mom would really appreciate. This is an easy pull fragrance. It's not complicated at all. So if mom is really busy and she's just looking to pull a gourmand that doesn't make her smell like food necessarily, but it does make her smell yummy to a certain extent, and one that she can sniff on herself, well, then this is the fragrance that you want to get for that mom. The other fragrance that I would highly recommend for the gourmand lover mom type, right, would be the latest from Maison, Kurkdjian, and this one is Kurky. Now, Kurky is a fragrance, guys, that I absolutely love. I have loved this fragrance since first sniff. This fragrance has some fruity notes, but predominantly, this is like a gummy candy, like a Laffy Taffy, like a fruity stripe kind of gum candy. That is what I get from this fragrance. This is very much a gourmand fragrance, and at that, it is one where you're not necessarily going to smell like food again. It's more of like a candy type of scent. But the thing about this fragrance is that it also, like all of Maison Kurkdjian fragrances, this one is also elegant. So while being a gourmand that is going to make you smell yummy, it is also an elegant fragrance that you can wear to just about any occasion, day or night. So this to me is a top recommendation if you're looking for a fragrance or perfume gift for a mom that is a gourmand lover. The next mom type that I want to share some fragrances for, and I have two fragrances here that I want to share with you for this specific mom type, is the fashionista. Now, the fashionista is that mom that is devoted, I mean truly devoted to following fashion. She always knows like what is the latest and the greatest in fashion, and she knows how to put herself together very well, and she loves a good fragrance. The latest from Christian Louboutin, and this one is Fetiche La Rose. Now, this fragrance, guys, is just perfect for the fashionista mom. This is a fragrance that if she doesn't have it already, she is really going to love and appreciate. And of course, the bottle speaks to fashion all the way. Not only does the bottle speak to fashion all the way, but look at that cap, guys. It's like almost like a weapon. But this is an exquisitely done fragrance. Now, this fragrance is very rose and cherry centric. Even though the name has rose in it, I would not say that this is a rose only centric fragrance. To me, this fragrance is very much fruity and it is very much floral. But at that, it is an inherent sexy fragrance. It is a fragrance that honestly you can use for just about any occasion. I wouldn't go to the gym or, do anything where I'm going to perspire with it, because this is too much of a fragrance for that. You need something more along the lines of casual, which we'll discuss in a couple of minutes. But this fragrance is just perfection for the fashionista mom. Of course, I have a detailed review here on the channel of this one also. Now, when it comes to the world of fashion, To me, you just can't speak about fashion without talking about certain brands. And the next one is definitely one for the fashionista mom, because I'm speaking about Balmain. And Balmain has launched so many beautiful fragrances recently between 2024 and now 2025. And this next one is a 2025 launch, and it is called Blanc Galaxie. I've already discussed and reviewed this fragrance here on the channel, but I had to bring it today because I think that this would be the perfect gift for the fashionista mom. I'm sure that she will highly appreciate it. This fragrance is very citrusy, but it's also herbal and very aromatic. There is an inherent freshness to this fragrance that makes it just perfect for the seasons of spring and summer. This is definitely one that I would only pull for the spring and summer seasons and maybe the beginning of the fall. But this is a very citrusy fragrance, but it is very elegant. It is a fragrance that you can use for just about any occasion during the spring and summer seasons, whether it's day or night. It is a bit fresh, spicy. It does have a floral presence to it, but that's not the center of everything. To me, it's more about those citrusy notes, definitely. And the dry down is a bit powdery. Again, I have reviewed this fragrance here on the channel, so please, if you need more details, just go ahead and do a quick search. But I promise you that for the fashionista mom, this would be an incredible gift that she will surely appreciate. The next mom type that I want to give you a couple of fragrance recommendations for is the wellness mom. Now, this is the mom, guys, that prioritizes her mental, her physical, and emotional health while also taking care of her family. She's very conscious of ecological matters, and she's also a mom that you may typically find is going around in like a Lululemon type of outfit because she's into Pilates or into yoga or into meditation. I mean, this is a very aware and present kind of mom. So this would also be the category where I would include those moms that are like doctors and nurses that, you know, are in a work environment where they really need to make sure that the fragrances that they wear are non-offensive and very soothing. And I think that the perfect fragrance to start with is Initio's Power Self. This is a fragrance that was launched not too long ago in 2025, and I already have, I think it's a dedicated review or a review here on the channel. But this is perfection for the wellness mom. This would be a fragrance that the mom would really appreciate. This is a white floral fragrance with a very strong musk. But the musk, while being very dominant, this is like a level 5 type of musk fragrance. The musk is not dominant in any way. So you do not have to be concerned if, you know, the mom that you're looking to find a fragrance for is a mom that really is not into musk much. Now, if mom is not into musk at all, then this is not the fragrance. But if mom just is cautious about the musk fragrances that she picks up, well, then this one, I promise you, will be a perfect match for her. I also find this fragrance to be a bit sweet, not very sweet, but it is definitely sweet, and it does have a powdery dry down, which is a bit airy. It's very like clean, it's very different than any other Initio fragrance, and that's one of the things that I discussed during the review that I did here on the channel, but I think that this would be perfect for the wellness mom. Now, the next fragrance that I also want to share with you and that I highly recommend for the wellness mom type, right, is the latest from Byredo, and this one is Blanche Absolu. Now, of course, I've already reviewed this one here on the channel, and what I can tell you is that for the wellness mom, this would be perfection because this is a fragrance that has a very clean aesthetic to it. This is such an incredibly addictive fragrance, guys, because there is like a clean and an airiness and like a freshness that never ends with this fragrance. And the funny thing is that at the dry down, it is a powdery fragrance, but the powderiness is not like too stifling or cloying or anything like that. The freshness continues to be present, and that clean quality of the fragrance overall is definitely present. And this is also a fragrance that I do want you to know that has quite a bit of aldehydes, because while being a fragrance that is very clean, it's also very bright. It is kind of like a mood altering fragrance to a certain extent, because it will kind of like wake you up. It'll like soothe you while at the same time adding like energy. The other thing that I do need you to know about this fragrance is that it does have a soapy quality to it from the first sniff all throughout the olfactory journey and throughout the wear. But this is not just any kind of soap, right? This is a very, very high-end soap, as to be expected coming from a Byredo fragrance. Again, this is one that I just absolutely know that the wellness mom would really, really appreciate. The next category that I want to share with you is the SUV slash minivan mom, okay? In other words, this is the gotta go, gotta go, gotta go type of mom. She is busy all day with errands and activities for the kids, and having to take them to soccer and take them to painting and ballet. And this is the on-the-go mom. This mom has no time to do anything but her activities of the day. So this is a mom that's always on the go, and we need fragrances that are pleasant, that will make her feel good, because she does deserve it. But at the same time that they can be pulled easily, because this mom cannot afford to get complicated about anything else, because she already has a lot on her plate. And I am speaking about first, okay, from the Donna Karan collection. I think that one that would be perfect would be the Cashmere and Vanilla Essence fragrance. This is a fragrance that was launched in 2025, and I think it is perfect for the SUV minivan mom, for sure. This fragrance, while it says that it is a vanilla fragrance, it is a vanilla fragrance, but please know that it does have quite a bit of violet, and it has a ton of vanilla. Like, the dominant note here for sure is the vanilla. It's also a fragrance that at the dry down is powdery, not a little bit powdery, not regular powdery. It's a little bit more than just powdery. So this mom would have to like and appreciate a powdery fragrance. But the powderiness in this fragrance is not stifling. It's not something that's obnoxious or overwhelming. No, this is the perfect fragrance that this SUV minivan mom can pull with no worries. She's going to smell fabulous. She's going to feel great, while also having a fragrance that will perform beautifully for her and will get her compliments. The next fragrance that I want to share for you, that I also want to recommend for the minivan slash SUV mom, is from Creed, and it is of course one of their recent releases, and this one is Eladaria. Now, Eladaria is a rose-centric fragrance that is also musky. It's not crazy musky, because the dominant note here is the rose for sure. If this SUV minivan mom is looking for a fragrance that makes her feel beautiful while not being overpowering, just a very smooth, beautiful, silky kind of rose fragrance, then this one would be perfect for this mom. This is a fragrance that, in addition to that rose, does have quite a bit of citrusy qualities to it. And it is also fresh, which I absolutely love, because the rose here is a crisp rose. It's not a dated rose. It's a crisp and fresh. It is like a modern twist rose fragrance, in my opinion. And I think that that mom would absolutely love this fragrance for days where she wants a little bit more than just a casual and quick pull kind of fragrance. This is a fragrance not for special occasions for this mom. No, this could be her everyday or even signature scent, but this is when she wants to feel beautiful and feminine. All right, guys. So the next mom type that I want to share with you is a very special one, because this is for my badass, like, boss moms, definitely, right? And the first fragrance that I want to recommend for this mom type, but this first one is Greenpoint. Okay, so this is a fragrance that I was just minding my business. I was at Neiman's and I was just going around sniffing away. And I was very much aware. I think I brought this fragrance to a chatty scent corner for you. And I told you that I really felt, if I recall correctly, I told you that I really felt that this was probably going to lean more to the masculine side. So I was not planning to pick it up. Well, I was very wrong. This fragrance to me, guys, is truly a unisex fragrance. This does not lean to the feminine or to the masculine side. But at that, this is such an incredibly exquisite scent. I am absolutely in love and obsessed with this fragrance. And I did not think that that would be the case based on just the notes. But from the moment that I sprayed this fragrance, oh, it was all over. I needed to get this bottle. So of course, this is a brand new fragrance. I don't even think that I've shared with you the unboxing, but there will be a short where I will share with you the unboxing so that you know what the box looks like and all of that. But this is a fragrance that I am going to review for you now so that you understand a little bit more about it. This is a fragrance that opens up very much fresh and fruity and floral. There is like an aquatic / marine quality to the fragrance that is very dominant here. Very, very dominant. So the one thing that you need to enjoy is a fragrance that has a very strong aquatic / marine quality to it, to the point of you feeling like you're sniffing like salty water. It is also quite ambery and woody, which are the two accords that add quite a bit of character to the fragrance, because if not, to me, it would be more of a freshie, because there's also a citrusy quality to the fragrance for sure. The fragrance is fresh at all times. It opens fresh. It will go to the dry down fresh. It will wear fresh. But at the dry down, in addition to that freshness and that aquatic quality that will never leave the fragrance, you are going to get quite a bit of character from the amber and the woodiness that is very present, while also having a touch of a powdery quality and becoming very aromatic. I am telling you, this for me has got to be the most complex Bond No. 9 fragrance that I have in my collection or that I've ever sniffed. And I have a couple of others that do give you a very complex experience. And when I say complex, I don't mean that most likely you're not going to like it. No, what I do think is that this is a fragrance that is so different than anything else that we've experienced from Bond No. 9, because typically when I see a fragrance like this with Bond, it's really like a very masculine to me fragrance or very masculine leaning. While the musk here is like between a level 3 and 4, which means that the musk is very present and you are going to pick up on it. I don't pick up on the musk as being animalic in any kind of way, or being one of those musk accords that you have to be like, oh goodness, be careful. No, because everything in this scent is just exquisite. You know, if you have tried or if you picked up Greenpoint, can you please let us know your thoughts? Because I am curious to hear others speak about this fragrance. I have been waiting and I have not seen anybody really talk about this fragrance, but I have to tell you, to me, this is a deep, deep love. I think that this fragrance is best suited for the ages of 25 plus and for the seasons of spring, summer, and fall. You may be able to get away with it during the winter, but this is not one that I would necessarily pull on a very, very cold day, because it truly has a very strong aquatic and dominant, like marine quality to it. It does perform very well because it's not a beast mode fragrance, but it's not a weak or light or very like, you know, non-present type of scent. Oh no, this has a very strong projection for about 2 hours. And after that, it becomes a scent bubble. And right around like towards the end of the day, it does become an intimate skin scent. But I never stop sniffing this fragrance when I'm wearing it. So the reason that I'm recommending this for the boss kind of mom, right, is because I think that this could be a signature scent for certain seasons of the year for a boss mom. This fragrance, while not being demure and having quite a bit of character and not being faint, I don't think is really offensive. I think that this is one that you could wear for any occasion, day or night. So I think that this could be someone's signature scent, again, for certain seasons of the year. What I also think that a boss mom would love about this fragrance is that while it has that freshness and citrusy quality, it's not necessarily a male leaning or heavy male leaning fragrance. It is a fragrance that has quite a bit of character and is going to make a statement without being very, very bold as far as scent, as far as intensity. So I just think it is perfect for the boss mom. So the next fragrance that I want to share within the Boss Mom category is from Amouage, and this is one of the latest releases, and this one is Existence. Now, Existence is a white florals dominant fragrance, but at that it is very, very ambery, and it has a certain degree of freshness to it. This fragrance is perfection for the spring and summer seasons, but some people, and I may kind of agree, may argue that this is one that you could pull throughout the year. To me, this fragrance, now that I've had a chance to use it more, is truly like a combination of Guidance Not 46, the original, and Purpose 50, which is a launch also from 2025 that I have not reviewed here on the channel yet, but that I've had for several months now. I'm just waiting for a bit of cooler weather, even though that is a fragrance that I could pull any time of the year. But anyway, so I think Existence is perfect for that boss mom for pretty much the same reasons that I told you that I thought that Greenpoint was a really, really good fragrance for a boss mom. This one does have quite a bit of aldehydes. It is musk based, but I pick up on the musk less here than that I do in Greenpoint. And it also has quite a bit of aldehydes. It does have a soapy quality to it at the dry down, and it is a bit green. But overall, guys, you just cannot go wrong with this fragrance for a boss mom. This is such a character heavy kind of fragrance. This speaks to so much. This is the type of fragrance that a boss mom would probably spray on and give its own definition, right? She would create like it's like the character behind this fragrance, because this is really a fragrance with quite a bit of personality and oomph. The next mom type that I want to cover with you is the sweet and empathetic mom. This is the very calm, cool, and collected mom that is always very open to listening and understanding and supporting, right? So for this mom, I have selected two fragrances that I think are perfect and that will go right along with this type of mom. The first one is from Bvlgari, and this one is Insieme. Now, Insieme is such a lovely fragrance. This is the type of fragrance that I see the sweet and empathetic mom using like during the day or for more casual occasions. It is just a fragrance that is so easy to pull and much, much easier to fall in love with. This is a true pleasing fragrance. I would be hard pressed to find someone who really, really hates this fragrance because it is just so pleasantly beautiful. This is a fragrance that is musk based. It is very citrusy and it has quite a bit of florals. It is also fresh and it just gives such an air of like beauty and calm and peaceful. And it smells just exquisitely beautiful. I think that this is a fragrance that without a shadow of a doubt would be a love for that type of mom, and even for other moms. This is just an exquisitely beautiful fragrance. The next fragrance that I want to share with you is for the same mom. It's for that sweet and empathetic mom. And this one for me would be more of a dressier, not necessarily formal or full-on dressy occasion, but more of a less casual kind of day for that sweet and empathetic mom. It may be a signature scent that, a fragrance that she uses for the office, But I think that this one is more than just one that you use for absolutely everything, because the more I become acquainted with this fragrance, guys, this is a very, very special scent. And I'm speaking about the latest from BDK, and this one is Impadia. Now, I think that our sweet and empathetic mom would absolutely love this fragrance. I think that she may probably use this fragrance on the regular, not to just run regular errands and stuff like that, but when she wants to feel a certain way, this may very well be the fragrance that this mom would pull. It is a fruity floral with a good bit of rose, very present rose here. There are some white florals. In addition to that floral presence, you are going to, of course, have the fruity notes, but it's also a fragrance that has a certain degree of like a citrusy quality to it, and it has a beautifully done woody background. The woodiness is not too much because the blend of this fragrance is just exquisite. So although this fragrance has, if I recall correctly, two types of wood, I think it's Akigala wood and sandalwood, the woodiness here is done just exquisitely, and it blends very well with that very present rose and the fruity notes, never losing its citrusy quality. Many have said that this one is like one that you could compare to Delina, or one that you could compare to like Guidance, or a mix of both. To me, this is an exquisitely beautiful standalone fragrance. To me, this is not like kind of like a Delina or kind of like a Guidance. No, this is truly a very different fragrance coming from the house of BDK, and that I think would be a home run, a hit, if you were to give this to a mom that has more of that sweet and empathetic personality. I am done with all of the mom type categories, but there is one category that I did add to the list because I thought that it was really appropriate. So this one would be like the wild card, right? And it covers the one fragrance that I think that you cannot go wrong with. So if you're doubting any of the other fragrances, then I'm going to tell you that this one is the one that I really believe you can't go wrong with when gifting it to a mom, any type of mom, because this is an exquisitely beautiful fragrance. Let's talk about it, because I have not even reviewed this one here on the channel because it is very, very new. By the way, guys, I will have for you all of these fragrances in the description box. I will be leaving links to where you can pick them up. If I have a code, then I will leave the code for you. But please be sure to check the description box out. I appreciate your using my links because it really does help me with the channel. Okay, so the one fragrance that I think you cannot go wrong with is one of the latest launches, or actually the latest launch from Bond number 9. And this one is New York Secret Gardens. Oh my, this fragrance. So let me just start by saying that this launch has been a little bit controversial. People seem to feel a certain kind of way about this fragrance, but I am here to tell you that for me, this is a deep love. That's just my opinion. This is such a beautiful white florals fragrance. But the controversy comes from the fact that the notes that you find in New York Secret Garden are pretty much the same notes that you're going to find in New York Flowers. Now, New York Flowers, if I recall correctly, was launched in 2023. Absolutely love it. Incredible fragrance. And New York Secret Gardens was just launched, and they share almost the exact same notes. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the review of New York Secret Gardens because I've already reviewed this one on the channel, and then I'm going to do a detailed comparison for you between these two fragrances, and let's see if they are pretty much the same. Now, New York Secret Gardens is a fragrance that opens up very fruity. It opens up, I wouldn't even say sweet, guys. And I know you're probably like, well, it's fruity. How does it not open sweet? It is just like, at least to my nose, a tad sweet. It is not even like sweet. It is very, very heavy on the white florals, but at that, the white florals have been done, although they are present and to a certain extent intense. They are not heady at all. They're not going to give you a headache. They are really just perfectly done, very balanced with the fruity notes. And it also has a citrusy quality to it just in the opening. Now, when it comes to the fruity notes, I know that there's supposed to be some pear here, some clementine. I pick up on the fruitiness of the fragrance, but if I'm honest with you, I'm not picking up on the specific fruit that encompasses that fruity accord to my nose. The thing about this fragrance is that it is a white florals fragrance, but it also has the note of ivy, and there's like a green quality to the fragrance that I think is coming from that note, because it is not very green, but it is definitely a green quality that you're going to pick up on, while you're also getting those white florals. In addition to those white florals, you're also going to find iris. And the iris, what it does is that at the dry down, the fragrance will be powdery, not ultra powdery, but it is definitely a powdery fragrance. It is also a musky fragrance, and to me this is like a level 3 kind of musk fragrance, where you're going to pick up on the musk, but the musk to my nose is not animalic whatsoever. Other thing that I did want to bring to your attention, so the note of Cure Royale is here, much like it is in New York Flowers, which we're going to compare them in a minute. But that note of Cure Royale here, I'm not picking up on an effervescent quality to the fragrance at all. So I don't know where the note of Cure Royale went or what happened. Maybe it's just my nose. Let me know if you've sniffed it and you're picking up on it, because I'm not picking up on it at all. But I am not hating it, because this fragrance, again, to me, smells incredible. And it is a fragrance that does perform very well. It does have a strong projection during around the first 90 minutes, not more than that. And then after that, it does become a skin scent. But it is a very strong skin scent, wanting to border like in a scent bubble. But it's not really a scent bubble. It is a skin scent that you're going to pick up on the fragrance all throughout the day. Now, towards the end of the day, because it does give me a full day wear, it does become a very intimate, very, very close type of skin scent, where I have to like bring my arm to my nose in order to pick up the full scent of the fragrance. To me, this is perfection for the spring and summer seasons. This is not a fragrance that I would pull during the fall nor during the winter. And I think it is appropriate for just about any occasion. This is actually perfect for a mom that is looking for a signature scent and loves florals. Specifically, if that mom loves white florals that are not heady or, that are very pleasantly done, this fragrance is perfection. This is one that you just need to add to cart, because I am telling you, this will be a love. We've already talked about the musk, and this fragrance has absolutely no oud. So let's go ahead and start the comparison of these two fragrances, because I spent quite a bit of time, spraying on skin, on paper, comparing these two, because those notes are pretty much the same. So there are a couple of things going on between these two fragrances. So let's talk about it. So when it comes to these two, let's start by talking about the most obvious difference, or the most obvious accord and note, right, that we really want to compare. And those are the florals, and at that, the white florals. So at least to my nose, on my skin and on paper, right to my nose, when it comes to the florals, the white florals are more intense in New York Secret Gardens than they are in New York Flowers. It's the white florals that are quite intense in this fragrance. That makes a marked difference for sure. Now, within the white florals, let's talk a little bit about that, because in the note structure, what I did notice is that they added the note of tuberose and star jasmine. Now, star jasmine, while we have jasmine in New York Flowers, in New York Secret Gardens, we have star jasmine. Now, star jasmine tends to give the fragrance a bit of a stronger and much more intense than the regular jasmine. So that may be part of what I'm picking up here, in addition to the fact that there's tuberose. But I am going to tell you, I pick up on the white florals here, but I can't clearly distinguish what they are. Typically, if there's white florals and there's one that's more dominant than the other, I'm able to sniff it, even if it's in the background or something, but I don't clearly pick up on jasmine or tuberose or anything in this one. To me, this is truly a bouquet of white florals that is very present and to a certain extent dominant in this fragrance. So that right there is one of the key differences between these two. The other thing that I have to say about these two fragrances is with regard to the green accord. The level of greenness that I pick up in New York Secret Gardens is one that I do not find at all in New York Flowers whatsoever. The greenness here, while not overpowering or obnoxious or one that's going to overwhelm you, is definitely present. In addition to that, the level of musk that I find in New York Secret Gardens is not the same or even at all present to my nose in New York Flowers. So there's another considerable difference. Let me just put it to you this way. For me, what I get, what I pick up on, what I think, in my opinion, is that while New York Flowers is more about the florals, New York Secret Gardens is truly what the name says. It's about the garden. So you're going to get not just the florals, but you're going to get the bushes, the leaves, all of the green quality that you would find in a garden in addition to the florals. That's what you get in New York Secret Gardens. That is what I'm picking up. But at that, it is an exquisitely done fragrance. These fragrances both, and I will link them both for you in the description box. These fragrances are ones that if you are looking for a floral, an exceptional floral fragrance for a mom, these two are ones that you really can't go wrong with. So, but I did want to share with you those differences because there's been quite a bit of rumbling around. Are they exactly the same fragrance? Now, I know what you're probably asking yourself, and if I don't tell you, you're going to ask me in the comment section. If I own New York Flowers, would it be redundant to pick up New York Secret Gardens? I already told you what the differences are to me. This is the entire garden, all of it. Just throw it all in there, okay? This one is about the florals. But curiously enough, the florals in this fragrance, the white florals specifically, are definitely more intense than those that I find in New York Flowers. Now, do I think that it may be redundant? It may be a bit redundant if I'm honest with you, because what you are getting in this one is that greenness, you're getting more intensity. Oh, and by the way, I feel that New York Flowers is a bit sweeter than that because I don't find this one to be much sweet at all, actually. But I do find New York Flowers to be a bit sweeter. So it may be redundant to have both in your collection. All right, guys. So I have shared with you at this point 14 of the 16 fragrances that I have for you today. But although I don't have any more mom type categories, I do have 2 honorable mentions. And these are fragrances that I am completely in love and obsessed with since first sniff. I've already reviewed them here on the channel. I've also, added them to a couple of lineups because they are that special. But unfortunately, they are never available. They're never in stock just about anywhere. And when they become available, they sell out almost immediately. And I didn't want to put you in the situation where you're trying to pick up a fragrance for a Mother's Day gift and I can't even, give you a link to where you can pick it up. So the first one is not going to come as a surprise. The first one is from Greenpoint and it is Eclectique. I don't have to talk about it. I've talked about it so much already. And this fragrance just launched like maybe a month and a half ago. The other one that I want to give a very, very special honorable mention that, wow, this one has me on a chokehold. And this is the one that you can't find it anywhere, period. I haven't even seen it come back in stock, okay? So yeah, and this one is from Maison and it's Printemps Blanc. Incredible fragrance. I've already reviewed it on the channel. I featured it a couple of additional times. Incredible fragrance. If I find them by the time I, publish this video, I will be sure to leave a link in the description box to where you can pick them up. But guys, these 2 that I just mentioned are just absolutely beautiful. All right, guys, so we've reached the end, and I just wanted to come on here and share with you a group of fragrances that I have curated specifically for Mother's Day 2025, because there's been so many launches during 2025, and you're probably wondering, okay, how do I pick? Which one do I pick? If you're looking to, get a gift for a mom that is in your life, I do promise you that most likely any of these fragrances will be an immediate love for a mom that receives them. These are fragrances that will make her feel beautiful and special on her very, very special day. Anyway, remember that I have left links for these fragrances in the description box. Thank you so much for using the links. And as always, thank you so much for hanging with me today. And I will see you all in the next video.